I just wanted to give you a bit of an update on the lockdown project that I started. The idea was I was going to do this over lockdown, and it was going to be my project, but I got distracted. But having a few days off now, I've been back to sewing on it, so I thought I'd give you an update. So the idea was, going back in the summer, I decided I would wash the cushion covers. This one was worn and it decided enough was enough, and it was split too much to be able to put back on. So the idea I had then was to make a cover, but I decided I didn't want an ordinary cover, I was going to do patchwork. In hindsight, next time if I was to do this I'd probably go for bigger. I've used 4.5-inch squares, and I think 6.5 would be the minimum I would do another time. It takes a lot of 4-inch or 4.5-inch squares to get the fabric. So where had I started? I'd started off cutting just scraps of fabric. I've got tablecloths in there, I've got napkins, so bring back some memories, and just leftover bits of fabric that I've got left over, and I've just gone through and cut them into squares and joined them at random. First of all, I joined them into pairs, and the idea was I just didn't want to put two lots of fabric the same together. And then from twos, joined them in pairs. I then created 4 patches, trimmed them, and then I joined 2 lots of 4 patches together, and then joined that with another pair of 4 patches to get an 8-patch block. Once I got to this stage, I joined 4 of these together, so ended up with where are we? That's 16, 32, 64 blocks. And then I joined them all together. So I ended up with this wonderful patchwork concoction. When I've joined them together, I've tried not to get them together I've only got it in one place where I've got 2 fabrics the same that joined onto each other. There we go, just there. But I'm not worried about that. As I cut this up into the pattern pieces, it's all going to get mixed about again anyway. But I really do like the look of the patchwork fabric. Because this is going on a chair, I've backed it with fire retardant calico. Apart from the obvious safety reasons for doing that, it also gives the patchwork greater stability. So if you think about the amount of wear and tear when you're sitting on a settee, having that fabric as the ground behind it gives it extra strength. And what I've done, you can see from the back, is I joined it in rows and then vertically and then horizontally stitching pretty much in the ditch. Now I can tell you not all my edges are perfect, but in the scale of things it doesn't matter. It's pretty much in the style of the old patchwork where you're using up bits and pieces of fabrics that are left over, giving them another life. And if you look at some of the older quilts, you can see there's different variations there. Not all the seams always line up, but on the whole, unless you sat there looking, you won't notice them. So that's what I've been doing this week. I finished joining the squares into a big piece, backed it with this calico, and now I'm on to the stage where I have to cut the pattern pieces. So I have the old cover here. I'm going to take some measurements of it. I will create paper patterns. I've got 2 settees and each of them have got 2 cushions. One's a big one and one's a small one. So each of these pattern pieces will be good for doing 2 seat cushions. I have, hopefully, I got to check my box, some continuous zip which I'm going to use as well. Otherwise I've got to order some. So what I'll do is, once I've created the pattern pieces, I'll come back to you and show you those, and how we go about joining it all together. So if you have any questions, if you're thinking about doing this yourself and have some questions that you want to ask, please feel free to get in touch. I'll be happy to help. This is going to go into the members club area as a tutorial. As such, it's not going to be a bit stage by stage tutorial, but it will be there to refer back to, so that you can follow the process and create something similar yourself. But if you have any questions, please do ask, and I will do my best to help. So that's it for now. I hope to speak to you very soon, once I've started creating the pattern pieces and ready to get sewing them together. So take care, speak soon.